ready for another deep dive? Today we're looking at something pretty small but mighty in the tech world. The 3DBenchy.
Yeah, it's this little 3D printed tugboat.
Which I bet you've seen even if you don't know the name.
Exactly. You see it everywhere in 3D printing.
It's kind of an icon.
It really is.
And it's actually turning 10 this year.
Yeah, big anniversary. A decade at the Benchy.
So it's this little tugboat. Like, what's the big deal?
Well, it's more than just a cute little boat.
Okay.
It's used as a benchmark to test 3D printers and filaments.
Oh, okay. So it's like
a test drive.
a test drive for the tech.
Yeah, exactly. Before you buy a car, you always want to take it for a spin, right?
Right.
The 3DBenchy is like that for 3D printing.
So you print out this little tugboat, and it's like, okay, this is how my printer's doing.
Exactly. You can see if there are any issues with the printer itself or with the material you're using.
So basically, this tiny boat helps make sure your prints turn out.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Exactly. And there's actually a surprise planned for this 10th anniversary.
Okay, now you've got to tell us more.
I can't reveal everything just yet.
Come on.
But let's just say it involves the community and some exciting new developments.
Okay, so everyone listening, stay tuned. We'll have more details later in the deep dive.
Definitely.
All right, so we've got this little iconic tugboat
turning
10.
Yeah.
But I heard things haven't been all smooth sailing.
You heard her.
For this little boat.
There's been some drama.
Drama. Okay.
Yeah.
Spill the tea.
Well, it started with the original creators, Creative Tools.
Okay.
They released the 3DBenchy design under a Creative Commons license, specifically the BYND 4.0 license.
Okay, and that means?
Basically, it means you can use the design, but you can't modify it.
Gotcha.
So no remixes, no custom Benchy designs. You have to stick to the original.
Oh, so that's where the drama comes in.
Exactly.
People probably weren't too happy about that.
Well, for years, Creative Tools kind of turned a blind eye.
Oh, so they weren't really enforcing that no modification rule.
Not really.
Okay.
So the community went wild, creating all sorts of fun remixes.
Oh, I bet. People love to get creative.
Yeah, they were making like all-terrain assault benchies and things like that.
Hold on, all-terrain assault benchy.
Yeah. Imagine the little tugboat decked out with off-road wheels and like armor plating.
That's amazing. I kind of want to see that.
I know, right? People were getting super creative.
Okay, so Creative Tools weren't enforcing the license.
Yeah.
Everyone's having fun remixing the Benchy. What went wrong?
Things changed in 2024 when Creative Tools was acquired by NTI Group.
A bigger company came in.
Yeah, and that's when things got a bit choppy. Printables.com, which is a really popular website for sharing 3D models.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of that.
They started actually enforcing the licensing terms.
So no more remixes allowed.
Yep. And people were not happy.
I can imagine they were probably like, we've been doing this for years. Why stop us now?
Exactly. And of course, they pointed the finger at NTI Group.
The big bad corporation.
Oh, yeah. They accused NTI of trying to, squash creativity. And basically trying to monetize the Benchy.
Like they were going to start charging for it or something.
Yeah. That was the fear, that NTI was going to turn this community icon into a cash cow.
Wow.
Yeah.
So NTI was in a tough spot.
They had a lot of angry 3D printing enthusiasts to deal with.
So what did they do? Did they just ignore everyone?
Actually, they didn't.
Okay.
They responded pretty quickly.
How so?
Well, first they clarified that they hadn't actually told Printables.com to remove any of the remixes.
Okay.
And they also said they had no intention of, trying to profit off the Benchy.
Interesting. So they were trying to calm the waters a bit?
Definitely.
But did they do anything else, like to actually address the issue?
They did. They actually took a really big step to appease the community.
Oh, this is where it gets good. What did they do?
They worked with the original designers, Daniel Noré and Paulo Keefe. And together they decided to make the 3DBenchy public domain.
Wait, public domain?
Yep.
What does that mean?
It means anyone can do anything they want with the design.
Like anything at all?
You got it. Print it, remix it, even sell your own version.
Wow. So all those all-terrain assault benchies and stuff? Totally legal now.
Completely legal. NTI basically gave up all control over the design.
So this tiny boat went from like a testing tool to like a symbol of creative freedom.
You could say that. It's a pretty amazing turnaround.
I know. So what you mentioned earlier, there's some kind of anniversary surprise.
Oh, yeah.
Can't leave us hanging.
Okay, I'll give you a little hint.
Yes.
So the original designers, Daniel and Paulo, they're back in charge of the 3DBenchy website and social media now.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and they're planning something special for the anniversary, which is, coming up on April 9th, 2025.
April 9th, okay.
They're keeping the details under wraps for now.
Oh, come on.
But I promise it'll be worth the wait.
Okay, we'll have to be patient.
Yeah.
But this whole saga really raises some questions, doesn't it?
Definitely.
Like this little boat. It became a battleground for intellectual property rights.
Yeah.
Versus this community's need to create.
Yeah. It's a really interesting clash.
Like, what does it mean for creators' rights when something becomes as popular and as widely modified as the Benchy?
Yeah, that's a tough question.
Like, is there a point where control becomes impossible or even undesirable?
Right. And what does that mean for other creators who are sharing their work online? It's a big issue.
I mean, you've got the people who poured their heart and soul into creating the original design. And then you've got this passionate community who took that design and ran with it.
Yeah, and they both have valid points.
It's like, how do you balance those interests?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah, no easy answer.
Definitely not.
But I think the 3DBenchy story shows us that open dialogue and being willing to adapt are super important.
I agree.
Especially in this digital age. It's not just about this little boat anymore.
Yeah.
It's about the future of creativity and ownership.
Yeah.
In a world where anything can be copied and remixed so easily.
It's a whole new landscape.
This is big, folks.
It really is.
And we're just scratching the surface here.
Yeah, there's so much more to uncover.
So much more to dive into.
We're just getting started.
Exactly.
This whole thing really shows how this little boat has gotten people talking.
It's crazy, right? I mean, we're talking about a tiny plastic tugboat here. But somehow it's gotten tangled up in all these big issues.
Yeah.
Copyright law, online communities, the whole nature of creativity.
It's kind of a microcosm of the digital age.
Shows how all these forces are playing out.
Right, and they're not just theoretical either.
Yeah.
These issues have real consequences.
Yeah, for creators. And for people who use their stuff.
For everyone, really.
So for everyone listening, this isn't just some geeky tech thing.
Yeah.
This is about understanding the digital world you live in.
Exactly. And speaking of the digital world, one thing that really struck me about this whole Benchy saga was how public it all was.
Oh, yeah. It all played out online.
Yeah. This wasn't some legal battle happening behind closed doors.
Right.
This was happening in forums, on social media.
For everyone to see.
Exactly. It was like the whole 3D printing community became this giant jury.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
And the jury was not happy.
Not happy at all with that initial verdict.
Which is interesting because it shows how much power these online communities can have.
Oh, yeah. They can hold companies accountable.
Yeah. They can change the course of events.
And they can definitely make their voices heard.
That's the upside of everyone having a voice now.
Yeah. But it also means things can get heated.
Yeah, pretty quickly.
Yeah, people were passionate about this.
About this little boat.
About this little boat, yeah.
But I think that passion is what led to this happy ending.
I think so, too.
MTI Group could have dug in their heels and just enforced that original license.
And alienated a ton of people.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But they didn't.
No, they listened.
They adapted.
I really did.
And they found a solution that worked for everyone.
I mean, it's a good example of how to navigate these tricky waters.
The tricky waters of intellectual property?
Yeah, exactly. Especially in the digital age.
Be transparent. Be open to feedback. And find solutions that work for everyone.
It's a good model for anyone, really.
Okay. But enough about the drama.
Okay.
Let's talk about what this means for you.
Yeah, because if you're listening to this, you're probably at least a little curious about 3D printing. Maybe you're thinking about giving it a try.
And now is the perfect time.
It is. You've got this amazing resource.
The Benchy.
Yeah, the Benchy. You can download the file, print it out on your own printer.
Yeah.
See how different settings and materials affect the results.
It's a great way to learn the rope.
Learn the ropes of 3D printing.
And it's fun.
Oh, yeah. And don't forget the fun factor.
Right. You can get creative.
Yeah.
Design your own Benchy remixes.
Make that all-terrain assault Benchy.
I know. The possibilities are endless.
You can make a Benchy for any purpose.
A keychain. A phone stand.
A tiny planter.
Whatever you can imagine.
Exactly. And the best part is,
Yeah.
You don't need any fancy equipment.
There are tons of resources online.
Yep, and 3D printers are pretty affordable these days.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's stopping you?
Exactly. And even if you don't have a printer, you can still have fun.
Okay, how?
There are online services that will print your designs for you. Or you can just admire all the amazing Benchy creations online.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a whole community out there.
I'm inspired. I think I need to design a Benchy.
You should. What kind of Benchy would you make?
Ooh, maybe one with a little jacuzzi on the back deck.
I love it. A luxury Benchy.
Yeah.
And hey, don't forget,
the
10th anniversary is coming up.
April 9th.
April 9th. Keep an eye out for those surprises from the designer.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a big celebration of all things Benchy.
Speaking of which, there's one thing I still find fascinating about this. We've talked about the legal stuff, the community outrage.
Right.
But what is it about this little boat that's captured people's imaginations?
That is a great question.
Like, why the Benchy?
I think it goes beyond its practical uses as a benchmark.
Okay.
There's something about the design, the simplicity of a tugboat that really resonates with people.
It's familiar.
Yeah.
It's not intimidating.
It's just this cute little boat.
And I think that accessibility is part of the appeal.
Definitely. It's a blank canvas that anyone can customize.
It's a symbol of creativity and self-expression.
I think that really speaks to people.
Especially in this digital age where everything feels mass-produced, controlled by big corporations.
Yeah.
The Benchy represents this little pocket of freedom.
A chance to make something your own.
Exactly. It's powerful.
It is?
But okay.
Yeah.
All this talk about the Benchy's charm has got me thinking.
Oh, about what?
What if the 3D Benchy is like too perfect?
Too perfect?
Yeah. Like it's so good as a benchmark that maybe it's actually limiting.
What do you mean?
Like if everyone's using the same model for testing, are we missing out on innovation in other areas?
You're thinking we're so focused on the Benchy that we're not exploring other designs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what if there are better ways to test 3D printers?
That's a really interesting point.
Yeah.
And it's something that's actually being discussed in the 3D printing community.
Really?
Yeah. Some people are worried that relying so heavily on one model,
even one as good as the Benchy.
Yeah, even the Benchy could stifle creativity.
So it's that tension again.
Yeah.
Standardization versus innovation.
It's always a balancing act.
Right. Because on the one hand, having a standard benchmark like the Benchy has been incredibly valuable.
It's helped the industry a lot.
It lets you compare different printers, different filaments.
Different settings.
Yeah, it helps drive improvements.
It's like having a common language.
That everyone in the 3D printing world can understand.
Exactly. But on the other hand, we also need to encourage experimentation.
Right.
Developing new benchmark models.
Yeah. That might push the boundaries even further.
That could really challenge what's possible with 3D printing.
So maybe we need like a whole fleet of Benchies.
Yeah, a fleet of Benchies? I like that.
Like a Benchy challenge arena.
Yeah.
With different models designed to test specific things.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Like one for speed, one for precision.
One for strength.
Ooh, yeah. Like a Benchy obstacle course.
I would watch that competition.
Me too. Sign me up.
Who knows? Maybe we'll see that in the future.
Yeah, the 3D printing world is constantly evolving.
That's what makes it so exciting.
Okay. So we talked about a lot today. The Benchy's origins.
Yep.
The licensing drama.
Yeah.
The role of the community.
Yeah.
And like the philosophical implications for creativity and innovation.
It's a lot to think about.
So for everyone listening out there, what's the big takeaway?
I think the most important thing to remember is the digital world is constantly changing, and the rules are still being written.
Okay.
The 3D Benchy story is just one example of how these changes can play out.
So be aware.
Be engaged. Be willing to adapt.
Yeah, like don't be afraid to rock the boat a little.
Exactly. Sometimes a little disruption can lead to something amazing.
And whether you're a creator, a consumer,
or just someone who's curious about technology.
The 3D Benchy story is a reminder that we all have a role to play.
In shaping the future.
That's a great note to end on.
Yeah.
So as you navigate the digital seas, remember the lessons of the 3D Benchy.
Okay.
Embrace creativity.
Challenge the status quo.
And never underestimate the power of a tiny tugboat.
To make a big splash.
This has been The Deep Dive.
And as always,
thanks for listening.